We are back from HEB. Let's see what we picked up for the beginning of the month. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I feel like leading up to Thanksgiving, everyone's going grocery shopping, you're grabbing stuff, you're making a ton of recipes, and then Thanksgiving hits and you remember you still have to feed your family more food. Regular eating still goes on after the holiday. We just got back. We ended up going up to Dallas for Thanksgiving holiday to spend with some of my extended family. We just got back late last night and my house and fridge are totally like pretty much empty. I had to clear a bunch of stuff out and we were eating really simply before Thanksgiving because of my bakery business. I had a huge Thanksgiving pre-order where I needed a lot of fridge space to keep my sourdough as I was baking. So we've been kind of zeroed out for a while and I needed a big haul to get the beginning of the month of December off to a start of healthy eating with my family. I will say at the holidays, in order to stay on track, I try to do like an 80-20 split with my healthy eating habits. I try to mostly stick to my normal eating routines. I like to do a bit of a carb choosy lifestyle where I don't specifically eat keto or low carb, but I'm picky about what carbs I eat because I know certain ones work better for me than others. Some I just don't feel very good after eating. Pasta is not super one of my best options, nor are honestly white potatoes, but my family likes them. So that's the other side of all this is mom life and balancing my healthy options that work for my eating plan and my health and weight loss goals, along with feeding my family and trying to eat the same meals together because now with a new business, my bakery open and running, I just don't have time to be cooking 3 different meals for every single meal time. Starting off, I did not do a big Costco run at the beginning of this month because sometimes I actually feel like I end up spending more than I need to by buying everything in bulk. I can still get some bulk containers of items that I know I go through a lot of at HEB, and their prices are actually pretty good. HEB is our local big grocery chain here in Texas. We have tons of them in the area I live in. And I actually find their meat products and produce to be really great quality. So this is one of their Texas-sized packs of 80-20 ground beef. These are really great because they run $4.67 a pound. Sometimes you can find deals on top of that that have packages marked down by like 25% off, depending on the day you go and when they're trying to like move inventory. And if I see those, I grab them because I'm gonna go ahead and today break these down into 1 or 1.5 pound portions and put them in Ziploc freezer gallon bags. So I have some portioned ground beef ready to go in my freezer that I can just pull out for 1 meal at a time. So with those marked down packages, if I know I'm popping them in the freezer right away, it doesn't matter that we're getting to their best by date because once I freeze them, they'll still be fresh when I thaw them to make into a meal for my family another day or another week. Not only is my fridge pretty much empty, but like my freezer, I have like no backup proteins at all left after last month. So I needed restocks on all of that. I did grab a pound of bacon. Costco is still my favorite to grab bacon at. Price point wise, they're a little bit less, especially considering most grocery store packages. This is the HEB original brand. They taste good, but these are only 12-ounce packages and Costco's are still 1 pound packages, which for me works because usually 1 pack I can use for 2 different meals. I'll plan to use half to make for breakfast for my family one morning and the other half we'll go ahead and get cooked up and we'll make BLT sandwiches, or I'll use it to do like a bacon chicken ranch pasta salad or salad, something like that. So I get 2 meals out of it. This I'll only get 1 awkwardly out of plus a little left over. And when you look at the price per pound versus just the price per package, Costco's always comes in on top. I also got a big pack of boneless, skinless chicken breast. This one came in just under 5 pounds and just under $15. Again, I'm gonna break that down into like 1 or 2 chicken breasts per portion and freeze them because of using them for like crock pot meals, or we'll take them out and thaw them and do grilled chicken outside. It's nice thing about living in Texas is we use our grill and our smoker all year round. There's very few weeks in the year that it's like too cold to grill outside, and I love it because it keeps my kitchen clean. So Josh can do that all he wants. I did grab another box of Nespresso pods. I've been picking these up on occasion just at HEB because they sell them in store. I used to buy them in bulk on Amazon. The price has gotten insane. So I just kind of buy these every now and then as a treat. Otherwise, we use our like hot coffee pot, or I'll make cold brew out of like regular beans that we grind ourselves. Knowing my girls, one of their favorite forms of protein is hummus. They eat this with the veggies on the side of meals all the time for a little extra veggie and a protein bit. some mini peanut butter crackers as a snack option for the girls to bring to school this week. Cream cheese. Josh asked if I would make my sourdough bagels. It's been a while since I've made them for the family, and he loves those. I think they're probably his favorite sourdough product that I make. So I told him I'd make him some bagels this week. Sorry these aren't in like a particular order. I just kind of have a whole pile of bags in front of me and I'm just going through them. So they're not really sorted by category like normal. Plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You guys know we go through this stuff like water in my house, whether we're using it for yogurt for breakfast, which is a great high protein start to your breakfast and your morning without it being something savory. You can go a little bit sweet with it. We like to put a little drizzle of honey in ours and fresh blueberries. But I also use this to make our homemade Greek yogurt ranch dip, which I use on both for dipping with veggies, if I make a veggie tray for the week, or also on top of salads. And it's just plain non-fat Greek yogurt, some dry ranch seasoning mix, and I either use a little bit of lemon or lime juice or even water sometimes just to thin it out to the right consistency. But higher protein, lower calorie for sure. And I also love having multi-use options in my fridge. I don't have to have separate dressings and dips and something separate for breakfast for yogurt. I can just use the same container for all of those options. I grabbed half and half for coffee in the morning. I like a little splash of that and a little drizzle of maple syrup for our sweetener in our coffee. I did grab a bag of frozen potato puffs. These are like tater tots, and we're gonna do them on the side with burgers for dinner tonight, keeping it simple in the post-Thanksgiving craziness. It's something everyone will eat, and it keeps the mess outside while I'm trying to unpack, do laundry, get reorganized before the girls go back to school tomorrow. Did mention briefly, giant bag of potatoes. I'm trying to mix up, like Tuesday is our like taco night, and sometimes we get sick of doing just like the same type of taco dish. So I'll use it as more of a Mexican inspired night, and we're gonna do a potato taco bake for dinner on Tuesday. So the base of it is gonna be roasted potatoes, and then we'll do ground beef with taco seasoning layered on top, along with some shredded cheese, maybe some fresh diced onion or salsa, and then everyone can top theirs however they want, like a taco. I like to usually do a little bit of shredded lettuce, a little bit of Greek yogurt in place of sour cream, another use for it, and definitely always go salsa on mine. I think I'll film a what I eat in a day on that day so I can share that recipe with you guys. It's a great one because it's easy to throw together. It has simple ingredients and it's a family pleaser. So it's, again, great when I can make one thing that everyone's gonna eat. For shredding on top of the tacos, I have some cheddar cheese, another family-friendly dish that I've shown a bunch here on the channel, but we are making turkey chili as well this week. The weather is finally getting cooler here in Texas, although I know I'm wearing a tank top now. I just got hot bringing all the groceries in, but I had a sweater on earlier. But we finally hit our highs in the 70s, and it's so nice to be out of those high 80s and low 90s. Finally, it was so abnormally warm here for like long this year. It's always hot here, but for us to still be getting high 80s and low 90s temperatures all the way through October and into some of November is, I feel like, kind of crazy. Anyway, a couple cans of no salt added black beans. These are going in our turkey chili. I think I only usually use 1 can in my turkey chili, but I grabbed an extra in case anyone wanted to add theirs as a topping when we do that taco bake another night. This was a little splurge for Josh and I to do some holiday coffee. I'm not a huge fan of eggnog just as is. However, using this in place of creamer, just a little splash, and it's regular eggnog. They do have an eggnog that's a light version. They were all out of it at the store today when I checked. This says a half cup is 240 calories, and that's way more than I'm gonna use. When I'm using it as a creamer, I'm honestly probably gonna use more like 2, maybe 3 tablespoons at most. So let's do the math here. If 4 tablespoons is a quarter cup, then that would be 4 tablespoons would be 120 calories. So you could do up to 4 tablespoons for 120 calories. I don't use any other milk or sweetener when I do this with coffee, and black coffee is like 0 to 5 calories. So that's not bad, and I probably will use even a smidge less. So that would mean my coffee with a fun little eggnog creamer moment is gonna be around 100 calories for the morning. So that's a way you can find to do like a fun holiday twist on something without having to go crazy looking for low calorie, low sugar, this, that, and the other. Just use a reasonable smaller portion and count your calories, and you won't go overboard. But the key is definitely to measure this out in tablespoons, adding it. Otherwise you get a little extra long pours. Diced tomatoes also going in the chili. Here's my other pack of proteins. I did grab a roll of breakfast sausage, and I think I'm gonna use this to make like a potato sausage soup since I have that giant bag of potatoes. Here's our ground turkey. This was on sale this weekend, so I think it was just over $4 for the pound. And this is, again, for that turkey chili. I do love doing things like turkey chili or a crock pot soup or even a casserole like the taco bake is gonna be, because it'll serve us a meal and then also leftovers so we can take that for lunches or do a second dinner out of it. And it's a little bit less cooking having leftovers on hand. We are to the fresh fruit and veg. I have a bag of Honeycrisp apples. My girls love apples. Just a head of lettuce to do the shredded lettuce on top of the taco bake, or maybe to throw some salads together this week on the side of dinners. Baby carrots, one of my girls' favorite go-to veggies. Again, they love dipping that with hummus. I have all the peppers, a green pepper, that one for the turkey chili. Oh no, my package ripped open inside here. That's all right, they all look good. We're gonna wash them before we eat them anyway. I did one of those tricolor pepper bags, so I have a yellow, an orange, and a red, but my bag split open. I think I'm gonna use some of these in a veggie tray, and that way they'll be prepped and ready to go, and I can just grab a handful out if I want to chop them up as an extra topping on top of the taco bake, or if I want to add some extra like red bell pepper along with the green bell pepper in the turkey chili. Nora actually also loves snacking on the red, yellow, and orange bell peppers too. They're one of her favorite raw veggies. Now I love turkey chili because it's a lower carb option. And then you can decide if you want to add carbs or not, right? Turkey chili, it's delicious on its own. I use plain unfat Greek yogurt as sour cream, a little bit of cheese on top, very low carb. My husband likes to dip some Fritos. These are just the HEB brand. They're like the scoops of those in the chili. Or you could take a little portion of them. Again, just make sure you're staying in your serving size. You get 10 of these chips, which are pretty large, for 160 calories, 16 grams of carbs. As long as I'm tracking with my MyFitnessPal, which is how I try and stay on track when I'm doing that 80% following on track, sticking with my healthy eating game, and then 20% for balance if we're at holiday events or parties where I can have a little treat with my family. But depending, I may decide that those carbs aren't worth it for me that day because I've done a sourdough bagel for breakfast, or I've done a sandwich in the afternoon with my sourdough bread. So that's what I mean by carb choosy. I don't do no carbs. I just like to pick and choose the ones that I want the most and that I feel the best eating. And honestly, usually something like a sourdough bagel or sourdough bread with a sandwich gives me more energy than just some chips crackled on top of my turkey chili. But again, it's all about choices and picking and choosing those and fitting them into my MyFitnessPlan with my calorie deficit and my macro plan for the day. A couple more kiddo snacks, some Pirates Booty popcorn for the girls. They like to bring that to school for snack. Applesauce pouches they like on the side with dinner. And then y'all know I literally own my own bakery and do sourdough bread all the time. But because we just got back in from out of town, my sourdough starter I fed and put in the fridge for a rest. I just pulled it out of the fridge. It's gonna need like a day to warm up and get fed and be ready to be baked with again. So in the meantime, I grabbed an Italian loaf from HEB so I can make some sandwiches. And speaking of all the sandwich fixings, they did have a deal where if you spent $15 at the deli, you got like, I think $3 off your basket, which was a nice little kickback. I grabbed some cheddar slices. Those are gonna be for burgers tonight. But I did grab from the deli a pound of oven roasted turkey deli meat. And this is some Kobe Jack cheese. And then I also grabbed a ½ pound of some honey ham and a pack of baby Swiss. So like we are stocked and ready on sandwich fixings. My kids love sandwiches. I feel like I'm constantly saying, what else do you want to have for lunches? What do you want to bring to school for lunch? What do you want me to make you at home for lunch? And their answer is always sandwiches. So we're just a sandwich family. And when I'm looking at my day, and sometimes I choose to do a sandwich, other times I love having a variety of deli meats and cheeses available because sometimes I'll just chop those down into smaller bite-sized pieces and throw together a salad with veggies and then do like a little sandwich style dressing on top with Greek yogurt, red wine vinegar, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, kind of like when you have a sauce on like a hoagie sub from a sandwich shop, you use that as like a little dressing on top of the salad for a grinder salad. I love, love, love a grinder salad for lunch. Another kiddo snack, some veggie straws. Again, just really have a couple options to mix it up for taking to school. And a little bit more fruit. I have fresh blueberries to top yogurt with for yogurt bowls in the morning. And then a 3-pound box of crunchy red grapes. All right, hopefully that'll keep my family fed definitely for the next week with some meals I have planned, with all of those proteins getting divided up and popped in my freezer. But honestly, this was just under $200. It was like $185 after a couple coupons I had. And I think this will last the majority of the next 2 weeks. Next week, I'll probably need to run for some more eggs and milk. Those I still had some of that were fresh yet in our fridge. So things like those kinds of basics. I also need to get myself back to baking, not only for my new December menu, which I just put up for my customers, and I should be getting hopefully some orders in here for this week, but I need to bake our sourdough bagels and some more bread just for my family's staples for the week. I also have a ton of frozen bananas in my freezer. It was a good reason to clean out my fridge and freezer when I needed all that space for my big Thanksgiving sourdough order. But I also got to take a look in there, see what I all had with my inventory, which I hadn't done in a while. And I feel like every time I buy a bunch of bananas, because the kids want it, they're really excited about them. They eat them for like a day or two. And then the last sad couple little bananas always get overripe and they don't want them anymore. And I just keep a freezer gallon bag ready to go in there and just add them banana at a time as we have ones that are overripe. I have quite a few in there, so I think it might be a week and time to make either some banana muffins or some banana bread as a little breakfast item or snack item for my family. That's in the plan this week. Here is my weekly meal plan. I like to share that with you guys so you can see not only what groceries I bought, but what I'm planning on using them for and how that all adds up. So thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe so you don't miss out on more content coming not only this week, but I'll be doing my big end of the year wrap up on my health and weight loss journey at the beginning of January and setting my new goals. I feel like I've had a great year and I'm excited about progress and continuing on through 2026. So thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.